Hello and welcome to another Nikomedia tutorial. I planned to make a Patreon tutorial out of this one because it's a request from my patron, but he said he's okay with it when I make a tutorial for everyone. And this patron sent me over this picture here and asked me if I can show this one how to make this or something like this, and so that we can animate it, so that the connected spheres are come closer together and further away, and so on. And this connection here should always go with the spheres, of course. So yeah, there are some possibilities, but the best one I found is again with the volume builder here. And yeah, my result was this one here. And the patron was very happy with this, and me too, honestly. And yeah, so let's recreate this one, I would say. Good. So this we can close. First of all, we need two spheres, of course. So make a sphere and make it with 100 is okay, I think. So 100 radius and a second sphere. And bring them a little uh, from each other away. So, okay. We have now this thing. So the first idea was for me to make a tracer in between these two guys, these two spheres, and create a cylinder or something else like this, uh, and wrap it along the tracer. So this, but it does not really work. So I'll show you what I mean. So I make a tracer here. In the tracer, sphere 1 and then a normal sphere, so it doesn't matter which one is which one. And then we want to connect all objects, you see. But you see we have here the we're tracing the vertices, and this is not what we want. So trace vertices, disable it, and so we go just from the center of one object to the center of the other object. This is exactly what we want. So when we move one sphere, we have always this tracer here in between. Huh? Okay. Now when we make a cylinder, so along the the x-axis here for this one, no, it doesn't matter. So, and I thought, so let's make this and bring a spline wrapper under the cylinder with shift click. So I have a spline wrap, and I use here the tracer spline, and now I have this here. But when did you see we are inside here, so well, maybe see it better from side. We go until here. This is no problem. But when we go to the sphere and drag the sphere out, I, here this would work. Yes, and we can put this everything in a volume builder, and it will look kind of nice. But then we have just one object here, and but this is not as nice as I want it to be. So I can make this blind wrapper here an offset, no, not an offset, and from, oops, let's see, from here to here. This would work. But when I now go with this here, let's go with this one. You see, we lose here thing. But I want at the end, I want this nice. Where is this? Is it that we see these are two objects? So I want this thing here. So this bulge here, and we could fake something like this with a torus at the end, but then we are not connected, and so on and so forth. This is not the way I want to do it. So what I did is the tracer. Yes, the tracer we need. What I did is a quite simple thing. I put everything here. No, not everything. I put the two spheres here in a volume builder. Or don't even need a volume builder for this normally. So I put the tracer in a volume builder. So volume builder, volume mesh. I have here my own object, so you can download this on our Patreon site. This is that makes the volume mesh and volume builder at once. You see, when I select my tracer, hold my Alt key, and click on this, it makes the volume builder and puts the volume builder in directly in the volume mesh. This is what I want. So now I have this one here in the volume builder, in the tracer. So first I want here to make it smaller. So that I have this looks quite nice. And the tracer, I want a density of 2 here or even more, but so now we have a nice spline here. So, and I want the radius thicker, so something like that. That looks fine. Let's go with 1 here for the moment. Not 1, go with 3. It's okay. And now I simply take this. Let's put these two spheres in a null here for now, but with the null. So, and I put, and I link this null in this volume builder. So when I link this, drag it just in the volume builder here. Think it is now linked, and it makes one object out of it. But this is not what I want. I want to subtract the null here from the tracer. So I get my own object here. And this is now what I want. So I go to my volume builder tracer, and here in the spline, let's go a little here. We don't need the asset browser here, so make it like this. Now we have more space here, and when I click on this, I hold my control key and click on the spline here. So I get a point, another point, and I go down. You see what we get? We get something like this. This is what I want. Then I make the tracer even bigger and smooth everything out here. And you see, we have exactly this Shift F6. We have exactly something like this here. This bulge, this one here. This is what I want. And this, more than less, is everything we need here. So I go to the sphere, and when I drag the sphere, you see it. But I want to put these two spheres in a volume builder as well, so that they come together, so that they melt together when they are too close. So nothing easier than that. Let's go to the null and hold the Alt key, volume builder, volume mesher. Make here 3 as well, so something like that. NA to hide the lines here. You see, this doesn't matter because we can go simply with a smoothing, and that's it. And when we go now with one sphere closer to the other, they melt together. And here we get this. This is exactly what I want. Okay, this is the first thing. But now I want that these two spheres rotate more than this, randomly, and come closer together and further away. And this is not so easy to do, because when we put this simply we could put a vibrate tag on each of these spheres, but we never get this what we want. So let's go to the vibrate tag and say here we want to enable the position here, and yeah, in the x-axis go in every, but this is not what I want. So, and hit play. Good, we need on the other one, we need another seed, so we need here to make another seed. So that does something, but this is again something what we cannot loop. So with a vibrate deck, to loop a vibrate deck, I did it once in a tutorial, but this is not a nice thing. And I want that everything rotates like around a sphere or something else. So for this, I did this trick here. So let's first put the two nulls and reset it to reset transform. But you see, we are not in the middle here. Now we are in the middle. The null is not in the middle, so let's. The volume builder is not so good. Let's bring the volume builder in the center here. So now everything is centered. Nice. Okay. Now, so how can I do this? So we don't need the volume builder for now. And we don't need this volume builder here for now. What I do, I make a sphere. And this sphere can be bigger, of course. Let's make this sphere, let's say 200 or even 250. So you can change this later on. This is no problem. NB to see the line. So normally I work with this icosahedron, but in this case now I want a standard sphere because I want to select this point on the pole and on the other side I want to select the points. So I could select this now with fields or something else, but in this case the easiest way is I copy this one, make it editable, C on the keyboard. Now I go in point mode and select this point and this point. Then I store this selection. So I have now the selection deck here. Store selection you will find here as well in the thing. So somewhere select store selection here. And okay, I have this selection deck and I drag simply this selection deck now on this sphere. So I made the other one just to get the selection deck. And so I have these 2 points selected even if I have not converted my sphere. So, and I do this because I want to clone these 2 spheres here on on the big sphere. So I make a cloner here, and instead of the null, I use the clone. Oops, instead of the null, and delete the null. Here I have a delete without children. This is so. I bring the 2 spheres in the cloner. Of course, in the volume builder now I need the cloner. You see the cloner is here, but the smoothing has to go up. Good. And I want to clone on these 2 points. We have 2 spheres and I want to clone on each of these points. So I go to the object here, take my sphere, say, first I go to multi-instances to be sure that everything works. So I go to vertex. Now I have every vertex, but when I drag in my selection tag, here I have just this and this one. Or I can go back to instance because we have just 2 clones. This is no problem. And of course, when I now go to my sphere and I change the size, I have that I come closer, and so we hide, of course, the sphere. And now we have this distance in between. And here we can simply rotate, but you see that jiggles a little bit. Let's go to the cloner and align clone, disable align clone. This should make this everything a little smoother. Yeah, this is now. Okay, this is perfect. Let's save this. So, connected spheres tutorial. Okay, so that's fine. But now I want to change the size, so the radius of the sphere randomly. I could simply make an animation, let's say from 0 to 50, go here from 200 to 0 or something else, and then oscillate this. But this is too regular. It should be more randomly, the whole thing. So how can we do this? My first thought was we can take the sphere and put simply an plane effector under the sphere. So, and plane effector should not work as an effector, it should work as a deformer in this case. And I go to object, here deformer object, and in the parameter I want to not the rotation, the scale, absolute. And but the problem here is now when I scale it down, you see the spheres will be smaller as well, not only the sphere in the middle, not only the big sphere gets smaller, so that the spheres scale with it. And this is, of course, not what I want. I wanted the outer spheres stay the same size, or yeah, at the same size. So, good. How can we do this now? So what I did is delete this plane effector. I want to drive the radius values here with a random effector, or with a shader effector in my case, because a shader effector I can loop, a random effector you can't loop. Yeah, you can loop a random field, but not a random effector. So, okay, let's go here to 200 again. 200. So for this, I made simple shader effector. So just a shader effector, nothing else. In the shading, I need noise. And with the noise, we can play later on. So we can go here, the noise, make it to world. This, let's go to 500 here. We can change this whenever we want. Animation speed of 0.5, and I have here 8 seconds animation, so let's make here 8 seconds loop period. Okay, and now I make a very small espresso. So I go to my sphere here, Shift C to find this, and the espresso. So get my espresso here. And I want to read out the shader effector here. So I bring in the shader effector. And to read a shader effector, we need a sample node. I should drag this in. So effector is the shader effector. I go in the right corner here and say you're an object. Okay. And what I need here is the right corner. I need the weight. And that the weight works, of course, I have to go in my shader effector, the parameter, and set the weight transform here to 100. So far, so good, we should say. The next thing is we need the sphere here, and I need the radius of the sphere. So the weight has a value with percent here. So when I go to here, you see weight is percent, and this radius has centimeters. So we need to recalculate the percent to centimeters. So for this we have a range mapper, and we tell the range mapper the input range, so the weight is percent, and the output is user defined. This is okay. Weight in. So, and this is 0% to 100% is the weight, and I want from 0 centimeter, 0 centimeter to, let's say, 200 centimeter. We can change this again. So let's bring this in. We immediately see. Let's hide the outer spheres here for the moment. We go to the sphere and you see the radius size here, and when I hit run, you see it changes. And this is exactly what I want. So I want it a little stronger, so I go to my shader effector, go to the min max and say here 200 to minus 200. So I should get a bigger thing. At the moment I don't see nothing, because let's go to the range mapper here. Make this a little bigger. So, well, no, this is maybe a little too much here. Let's go 100 to minus 100. But do I have to go to 0? I want to make it. It goes a little smaller. 100 was too much, but I wanted it almost disappears. So yeah. And you see this now, this loops. And the good thing here is, when I scale it like this, the outer spheres will not be scaled with it. So they always they have the same size. And this is perfect for us. Okay, we have this nice. Maybe we want to make it a little bigger even, so we can go with the maximum and bring it a little further out. So yeah, then I can go back here, so something like that. Yeah, this is a nice movement. Whoop, yeah, exactly what I need. Nice. So save it, and now of course, when we hide our sphere here, activate our volume measures here, and everything should work. Let's see the first. Here we have a little thing. Now we have to bring in the cloner here, and we subtract the cloner from here. So when we hit play, oops, here we should see something. Ah yeah, in the trace we have the two spheres. In this case we have the two spheres in the cloner. So I delete this and bring in the cloner instead. Now you see we have it. And when we animate this starts a little boring. So let's see what we can do in the shading here. Go with another seed maybe. So this is a little too far away. So let's go to the shader and go down a little bit. So something like that. See, we are not exactly in the middle here. So let's go to the volume builder tracer and this point here. Make this up here, and let's see, this point should be here at 0.5. So then we know it's exactly in the middle. Yeah, now it works. Okay. And now maybe I want to make the trace a little thicker, so we can still make, yeah, nice. Yeah, but this looks a little jaggy. I could use now more of the smoothing, so when I go here to 4 or something, but it takes away a lot. So what I do here is I go in the volume, under the volume measure, I bring in a smooth effect, a smooth deformer. Smoothing, so I selected the volume measure, hold my shift key and click on the smoothing. At my default is this here, so 1 iteration. When I go here to 10 iterations or so, that smoothes is nicely on this. Yeah, okay. So we could go now to 2 here, so then when we go to 2, I can use here a little more smoothing. Go with this smoothing here. I wanted it looks a little organic, so this is fine. Nice. So we have this. Everything should work. Yeah. Of course, we can make this even nicer when we go down with the. This volume builder is just for the clone, but maybe it changes something. No, the change not. It changes not a lot. But this here, when I go down to 1, this is too much. That looks not so nice. Let's go back to 3 and make tracings. This no, it was okay like it was. So for me, so go back here and go here to 2 and run it again. Yeah. So and the next thing I want to do is just I want to make an rotation on this sphere, a random rotation as well. So like in the shader with the random effector, but here we can use we don't need the expressor because here we only want to rotate and not to scale. So when I go to the shader here, let's say this is the shader scale. And now I go to this sphere and bring as a shader effector as a child. So I have selected the sphere, hold my shift key, shader effector, tell him that it is a deformer. So why is this guy now here? The shader effector has parameter here, scale parameter on. Don't want this. I want that my effectors always have nothing inside. So I go to edit here and save this nothing, save as default preset. So next time when it opens, it will open like this. So good. And here I need only the rotation. Let's say 60 is too less, 720, make 1440. So rotation. I select all of these rotations and here 1440. And now I hold my control key and hit enter. And you see it changes everything what is selected. So I don't have to go in each field. Good. We have this. Let's disable for a moment the volumes. We don't need them for the moment. So, and bring in the sphere. NB, I want to see now everything. Okay. And when I go to my shader now, I have the rotation. Then at the moment it does nothing because we have in the shading we have nothing. So let's bring in a noise and it should immediately do something. You see, the noise. Go again to world 500 and the animation speed here a little slower. 8 seconds and hit play. And now we have a rotation and we have this and the scaling. But I want the scaling that it goes a little further. So let's go to the parameter. Yeah, that they intersect a little bit. Perfect. So when I activate here everything, patrons can download already the project file. And the project file I did it a little more complicated. Well, this is the easier way, but this is mostly it is like this. When I do the tutorial, I get new ideas and it makes it easier. But so and what I want to do here is now. What did was this is okay. This is okay. what? I'm not missing anything. It should work like it. So let's hide the sphere here. Whoop. Yeah, that works. This is already. And if you want to make more of them, it is not enough to make just instances, because when you make some instances of this guy, you will everywhere have the same rotation, the same scaling, the same everything. So that doesn't look nice. What I did, I just copied the whole setup here. So these three, I put these three things all together in a null and copied it and placed it somewhere else. And what I did then is in the shaders, in the effectors here, I simply gone to the shading tab and changed the seed. So I get a totally different rotation, scaling, and everything. So this is this. And yeah, we just have to texture it. Do I forget anything? No, this is everything we need. Yeah, to texture it, it is quite simple. So you just make one texture for the volume measure spheres. Let's say this. Yeah, this is the volume. Okay, spheres, and then we go to this volume measure tracer. So now we know everything. Yeah, what I want to show you is when you want to test something and you want to disable and enable everything. In this case, I want to disable and enable the volumes. What I did is I select all things I want to disable. So this three, I hold the control key to add the selection, and this here, these are the volumes and the volume with the smoothing. And now I make a selection object. So I go to here, selection filter, and create selection object. This is this now. I have everything inside here. And the good thing here is now, when I say restore selection, it selects everything what I want. And here I can simply disable and enable everything at once. You see the green thing? So disabled, enabled. So I don't have to search when I go bring everything together. It still works. So this is it's a great thing. Select volumes. Okay, this is what I wanted to show. So, and I have my volumes. So, and for yeah, I don't think that we need here a physical render version, because this is exactly the same with for the Octane and for the physical render. So this is, I make a glass material for the middle thing, and something organic. I did hit something like liquid on the outside. So, but when you do something like glass and everything, of course, it needs in the physical render. It needs much longer. So I make here a simple. Yeah, I could try to make. Yeah, I try to make it in the with a physical render version here. The Octane version is already online to download. So now let's make a physical things. You see, this is my default material here. This is just a color and everything quite simple here. For this one, let's make a transparency material 1.5. It should be okay. Everything should be okay here, and put this on the tracer. Yep. And make another one. So let's see, this is the tracer. I copy this, control, drag it to the side, and these are the spheres. Spheres. I could use this as well, so transparency, but as I said, this will render, it will need a longer time to render. But let's try it. So like here, a darker gray, something like that. And make an absorption distance of, we have here a radius of 100. I can observe the distance of 10, so something like that. And bring it onto here. Save. Do we have here in the options, let's see, transparency. It doesn't bring that. That's a bit. Going to render settings, I bring in low GI and a middle GI to test. So start with the low GI. For GI, of course, we need something to light, and we need something. When you work with glass or metal or something else, you need something to what can reflect inside, because at the moment it's in a black void, and it does not reflect anything. Yeah, we have here, you see, we have here an HDRI, but this is the default thing. So if we render it, we would see nothing. Let's see. Save output 720. Current frame, okay. When I render this, that's quick. Render set. Let's see. You see that we see nothing, because for GI we have no light in the scene. We have no nothing in the scene. So of course, what I bring in is my Nikomedias Scene Rig. Whoop. I don't need here a floor, and the background I can leave on. So the background I want quite dark. So let's bring this again. So background. Oops, can go with the background. I'll go to black here. And when I render it now, we should see something. Yep, we see something. First, I want to change the HDRI here. Okay, let's take this one here. Yep, that looks nice. Okay. But I want it here. Now, let's go. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. We can go into transparency and maybe give it a little color here. So to make this a little nicer, we bring in some bump. In the original one, I did this with a displacer. And we can do it here with displacer as well. For this, we go to the spheres here. For the displacer, we need, of course, good, with the volume builder, it should work like this as well. So I bring in here a displacer between the measure and the builder. So under the measure, I bring in a displacer. So I select my measure, deformer, displacer. I hold my shift key, so it becomes child. And when I go to the shading here now with noise, it immediately should bring us some noise inside. I don't want that this intersects here so much, so it's quite okay. But I want a different noise here. We go to the object. This will not make any difference at the moment, but I want here Naki, let's say. Yeah, that looks nice. I want an animation speed of maybe 0.5. This is 8 again. So maybe this is a little too high. Let's go back to the, go to 5. Yeah, that looks nice. And if we had play this should animate, but I don't want to see now let's disable for the moment the shader effect and the effectors, so it does not animate here. I want to see if the, yeah, look at this. That looks nice. That looks really nice. And the physical render is not bad, believe me. So bring in the shader again. So we have to go. to the. So this was, I think, the. Yeah. So that. Let's make a nice camera here. Whoops, whoops. Why is it 55? I wanted it 35 normally, but in this case I don't want to, but this would be the default normally. It didn't save as default preset. Yes. Yeah, I know, but but so anyways, so okay, but I want anyway, I went here 80, so in portrait mode. Then I want to zero this out here, 0xy, and the z-axis, so that we have very quiet, nice in the middle here. You even could render it here like this. This is, and it looks nice. This is the viewport render. Let's see if this goes nicely away from each other so that we have a long tracer in between. Yeah, it's perfect. Very nice. So we have to look at this nice, almost subsurface scattering. It isn't subsurface. We could make a subsurface scattering, but this really needs then long to render. But this you could render with the viewport render, but it won't render or too long with the normal render as well. So let's go to here somewhere. Let's see when we make here a still, so Shift R. Good, this is the very, very. What's wrong here? Oh, yeah, no, this is too big. This is with the. Look at this. This is very bad thing. So there's a low thing, 720. Das ist das. This. Here, not at 100%. So this is this one, but you see we have here some intersections in the glass. And this is, so in the ambient occlusion, let's see if you have transparency, evaluate transparency. This could help, but in this case, I don't think so. It only needs longer to render. So in this case, it's not necessary. This looks more like metal than. So we can go here to the displacer and tell this displacer only go to the let's see. So let's see if we see this nicely in here as well. Yeah, when I say to displacer intensity, okay, now it's inside this. This looks nice. Now it intersects with the glass. What is okay with for the physical render. Now you see we get a nice color in the glass. But I want here. Oh, this is Octane. We don't need Octane. This is a double click here. So transparency, and here, let's see. I want this. Maybe go here to 20. Let's make it just with the absorption. Oh yes, yes. I want it a little darker, so let's go and go here to 10. Also this is not this what I want. Yeah, this is what I want. But it does not seem that it intersects now so nicely. Displacer 5 intensity. What if I go to -5? Then it will. Yeah, this intersects not 10. Yeah, this is too much. 5 was okay, but okay. Yeah, we yeah, this is sort of like because the colors and everything I do normally in post work, so this looks quite nice. I don't like this one here. Okay. Exit reflections with the less reflections. Okay, this is what does adaptive affinities here? Nothing. So let's see what we can do here. Of course, we can go up with the quality. So, and when we go here, GI middle, it needs, of course, yeah, now it gets nicer. That looks nice now. We have a little grain inside, but this is not really a problem. Let's see. This is now the middle GI. Yeah, that looks great. So this for the physical render, man. So, okay, I save this. How does it look when we bring in the background? Seen by camera. And let's render this with the low GI for the moment. And yeah, that looks even nicer when you leave it on here in this case. But the background, so the wish was with a black background, so that was okay. Let's see. This is nice, and now it's even with the low GI. Let's see. We can render this. Let's make a render here. Shift R. It should render. You see, pop. It's here. It's rendered so quick, but maybe it's a little noisy. So simply put an denoiser on it. So denoiser, render, which here, and look at this. And we have it, and we have a render time of nothing. 2 seconds. So let's see, with 2 seconds we can even go and render here. All frames. Shift R, yes. Just to have a look. In this case, maybe it's nice so without the denoiser because we get this nice. Uh, okay, I will render this out and I'm back when it's done. See you in a second. So it's not ready rendered, but we almost can see that this is really a nice render here. Look at this. I'm surprised when the physical render. It's yeah. With glass sensors and the physical render, when you work with an HDRI like here with the Nikomedias Scene Rig, it's only lit with an HDRI, and then at the moment, yeah, you can turn on lights in the Scene Rig as well. So or a sun in this case. When the scenery comes with a light setup as well, with a 3-point light and everything. But I had 99% of the time I use an HDRI. I almost never use any light. Look at this. That's it. We are done, I would say. And you can make crazy things with this. As I said, you can render this out and without a denoiser. And if you have the chance, if you have a nice video editing program, you can add the denoiser in your program, or with the video Topaz video enhance and like something like this. Or yeah, and you can make crazy things like this. I made this one in DaVinci Resolve, and then I made a kaleidoscope effect on this that looks crazy when it comes from everywhere and comes together and look this nice kind of bubble in the middle here. This is great. It looks great. Okay, and that's it. So I hope you like this one. If you have any questions, requests, complaints, please let me know. Oh, now we are. It's already ready rendered. So let me know if you have any questions, complaints, or something else. You can reach me almost everywhere by email, Facebook site, Facebook group, Instagram, blah blah blah, homepage, and you will find all the links you need in the description. As I said, patrons can download the project file. I will upload the physical render one as well, which I really like. And yeah, that's it for now. The next tutorial will come as soon as possible. So I don't want to promise because I always try to promise and then comes something in between. So I do the tutorials as soon as I can, believe me. And yeah, and if you're a patron and you have some requests, of course, it will go a little faster. You see, this one I got yesterday, and yesterday I tested it, and today the tutorial. And yeah, okay. So I wish you a nice evening, day, or whatever where you are. And uh, yeah, and all the best here from Austria, Vienna. Tschüss und Baba.